Hi everyone, welcome to Forbes Flash. Thanks for joining. Let's get started. And stick around, because later we'll have Forbes senior editor Kurt Badenhausen discussing this year's highest paid athletes. It was announced this week that Microsoft will buy software development platform Github for $7.5 billion in stock. The purchase adds a few new billionaires to the 3 comma club. As GitHub's single largest shareholder, co-founder and CEO Chris Wenstrath will receive as much as $1.5 billion in Microsoft stock. The deal is expected to close later this year. Billionaire David Koch is retiring due to declining health. The industrialist and political mega-donor, who helped oversee Koch Industries with his older brother Charles, will take on the title of Director Emeritus when he officially retires on July 1st. Koch is the 8th richest person in the world, with a net worth of $51.9 billion. Here's a few stories you might have missed this past week. The world of esports is growing quickly, and this 25-year-old is a major part of it. The CEO and founder of PlayVS loved esports during his time in high school, and he turned that into a rapidly growing company last year. The startup developed software to formalize high school gaming competitions, something that's been a missing piece of the esports puzzle until now. The startup has pulled in $15 million through a Series A funding round, with investors including the NFL's San Francisco 49ers and rapper Nas. Marine conservationists were unable to save a pilot whale in southern Thailand that died after eating 80 plastic bags. The whale likely thought the bags, which weighed a total of 17 pounds, were food. Once in his system, the whale was unable to digest the plastic, so it starved to death. The tragic death brings to light an increasing environmental issue. Thailand is considered one of the worst countries in the world for dumping plastic into the ocean, dumping roughly 1 million tons of plastic into the sea. What if we could prevent aging? A biotechnology company called Unity is aiming to do just that by targeting the aging cells that build up in our bodies over time. The company has $222 million in venture capital and $85 million raised from a May IPO, which valued Unity at $700 million. Their drugs, if effective, would make people live better, not make them immortal. Next up, Unity needs to show that their medicine can have a clear effect in humans. A new report has alarming information about the longevity of the Social Security program. According to the trustees for Social Security, 2018 will be the first year since 1982 that Social Security total costs will exceed its total income. The trustees expect to finance costs using a combination of methods until 2034, but then the trust fund reserves will run out. It was a banner year for South Korea's richest people. The country is now home to 45 billionaires, up from 38 last year. Biopharmaceutical entrepreneur Jung-Jin's fortune rose by $9.1 billion in the past year, a 478% increase. But he still comes in second to Kun-Hee, whose $20.6 billion fortune makes him the richest in the country by a long shot. Instead of announcing a new iPhone this year at WWDC, Apple focused on software, and in a major throwback, they announced a new walkie-talkie feature for Apple Watches. It works over cellular or Wi-Fi, so it's just like texting, except with voices. It's not exactly futuristic tech, but maybe it'll push those considering wearing a tiny wrist screen to make a purchase. At least Apple hopes so. Joining us now is Forbes senior editor Kurt Badenhausen to discuss the highest earning athletes list and its lack of female athletes.
Forbes has been tracking the earnings of athletes since 1990. We've published various lists, anywhere from 10 names to 100 names. What has happened over the last decade or two is salaries have exploded. Over the last 12 months, we had the 100 top earning athletes making $3.8 billion, up 23% from last year. So there's so much money in the world of sports right now. And it's across all sports. We have athletes from 11 different sports make the cut. The NBA dominates the list this year with 40 names. It's a record from any sport. Broke the record from last year that the NBA set with 32 names. And you can really attribute it to the explosion in national TV money. The current deal is triple the previous deal. It's worth $2.66 billion per year on average. And that spiked the salary cap and has resulted in dozens of NBA players making more than $20 million a year in salary. And then those guys also carry the big endorsement deals from shoe companies like Adidas, Nike, Under Armour. The top of the list, though, is dominated by global soccer players, 3 make the top 5, and then you have 2 guys who fought last August, made a killing in Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. Our earnings athlete list looks at prize money, salary, endorsements, bonuses that are paid out, whether it's a playoff bonus or in football, you have big signing bonuses when you sign a new deal. We also look at appearance fees. Golfers earn money through golf course design fees. So really we're looking at all income streams for an athlete outside of investment income. We've published an expanded list of the top earning athletes in the world since 2010 when we published the top 50 names. We expanded that to the top 100 names in 2012. This is the first time we have not had a woman make the list. Traditionally, the women that have made the list have all come from the world of tennis. We've had Li Na on the list. We've had Maria Sharapova has been a staple on the list. Serena Williams has been a regular on the list. But Li Na retired in 2014. Sharapova is still dealing with the fallout from her 15-month suspension for using a banned substance. And Serena took an extended break to have her first child. So this year, no women made the cut. Serena's the top earner by a mile in women's sports, earned $18 million just from endorsements by our count over the last 12 months, but still falls short of the $22.9 million cutoff for the top 100. The difference between sports when it comes to men and women is there's just not the money being generated by the women's sports. The one exception to that is tennis, where prize money for the most part is equal, certainly equal at the Grand Slam events. So women can generate significant prize money. And there's also those endorsement opportunities because companies want to align themselves with women that are in the public eye and are going to be on TV regularly. And that's the case, particularly at these big Grand Slam events, which can garner significant viewership around the world. Tennis is truly a global sport. So companies like Nike and Adidas are able to use these athletes around the globe. So that is also a significant advantage that tennis has. You see a significant pay disparity in, take basketball, but it's really revenue driven. The WNBA's TV contract pays $25 million per year. The NBA's national TV deal is 100 times that. So it's just, there just simply is not the money to pay these top stars in the WNBA compared to the NBA. The gap, though, in pay really jumps out when you start looking at soccer. The U.S. women's national team filed a wage discrimination suit against U.S. soccer in 2016 because they were generating more revenue than the men's team, having more success, but their pay was just a fraction of what the men were making. So there is certainly a significant argument that the women should be paid at least as much as the men, if not more, because the revenue is there to pay those women. Look for Serena to be back on the list next year, assuming she resumes her spot atop the game and the prize money that goes with it. Her endorsements still rank among the top 20 in the world, 16th over the past year at $18 million. And it's really just that prize money factor that knocked her off the list this year. But after Serena, who knows who the next woman is that could make the top 100. There's a significant drop-off in earnings after you get past Serena. Potentially, we might not know who that next woman's going to be, who's going to break through. Could be somebody that hasn't really been discovered yet. I'm thinking about a tennis player maybe in Japan or China who has a big breakthrough, because those players, if you break through, win a Grand Slam from one of those two countries, the sky's the limit in terms of your endorsement potential.
Thanks for joining us. Tweet your feedback using #ForbesFlash, and we'll see you next week. Tune in every Friday morning, same time, same place.